this is for the sake of the sound system. This is a bone stock Game Boy. And this is a program called LSDJ. It's free to download, but there's a donation. They would like a donation. And obviously, if you're using this to make music, you probably should donate. I downloaded it just to give it a try and discovered it's pretty damn complicated. And I'm not necessarily sure this is meant for me as far as the talent or lack of talent that I have. But I really do like listening to music in this system, playing music on the Game Boy hardware. And I thought it would be cool to show what some people can do with this. So, again, this is LSDJ. We're just running it off of an EverDrive because, again, you can just download the program, put it on your own flash cart, and it'll run on a bone stock Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and anything that can play Game Boy games. I'm going to probably screw up explaining this because, again, I'm not an expert at this, but I want to give kind of just the basics of what's going on here. So this is I guess you could call it a tracker. Typically when I think of tracker style music, I think of like mod files and stuff that's like Super Nintendo-esque or Amiga-esque. That would be sample-based. This is not exactly sample-based. This is playing the Game Boy sound chip and the sort of channels, I guess, that it has. So here we have 4 channels on the Game Boy screen, and or on the Game Boy sound chip. On here, they're like PU1. I believe that's Pulse Unit 1. PU2 is Pulse Unit 2. So you got 2 channels that can do like PWM, or it's like more like a PCM, I guess, maybe style. Your typical bleeps and bloops, if you will. Wave channel is more like it's more like a synthesizer, like it has like a bass sort of like synthesized wave, and then it has all your like your cutoff and your envelopes, your low pass filter or high pass filter, and then you have the noise channel, and that's more just like static noise. So here's the thing, okay? This wave channel, you could use it for different things, but typically it's going to be good for like bass, like a bwow, bwow, bwow kind of a sound, and you might use that for the bass line. But like the noise channel, on the other hand, that'd be more like the snare, right? Like the ch. You do like that static sound, and by changing like the the speed or the pitch or whatever of a staticky kind of a sound, you could do like a snare drum or like a hi-hat. And then with like Pulse Unit 1 and 2, it's going to be like your melody, right? So typically that's how someone would make a song. Someone with more talent than myself, as mentioned. Now, the way this works, you're doing this on a stock Game Boy. So you've only got a few buttons, but yet you can do quite a lot. Like you can copy and paste, and so it's all done with like combinations. Holding B first and then pressing A versus holding A first and pressing B, or holding select in B, or select in the D-pad. Different combinations that you've got to hold down. So this is actually more complicated than it looks at first. And in the bottom right here is sort of like a map. So right now we're on like the song screen, and so we're on the S, right? And if I hold select and use the D-pad, it'll move around. So there's your chain screen, and there's your phrase screen, and then each one of those, sometimes like here I can press up to go to the project screen, and this is where you can change the overall tempo of the song. But you can also like save and load songs, and that saves to like an SRAM, like a battery backed up SRAM. So the way I'm able to load other people's songs in is what I can do is I can download like a save file and then rename. Well, in this case, I had to rename it because it was like a .sav file, and on the EverDrive, it's like a .smc or something like that. So I basically just had to rename the file extension and then copy it onto the SD card on the EverDrive, and so it's like his save game. Like by his, I mean like the guy that made this song. So it's like now it's like it has his save, so I can load like his songs. There's a couple songs in here. I'm gonna have a link to this guy's like SoundCloud. I did actually download his album, so I did pay for his music here. And when you download his album on SoundCloud, you get the .save file, so you can load that into like an emulator or even onto a flash cart, like I've done here. So yeah, that's the project page. This is for the wave channel, I believe. So this is like I was saying, like your low pass filter. You can change the phase and you can change what the wave looks like. And then you've got like cutoff and all this different stuff. If it's like a sawtooth or whatever, so you can change all that here. And again, I believe this is just for the wave channel. And then we have what else? Table. Okay, wait. Oh, okay. You can like edit your own waveform there. So again, this is pretty complex, but basically, your song consists of chains, which consists of phrases. And so, like here in a phrase, you can see where he's actually put the notes in, right? Like you've got D sharp, and then the octave, I think. So that's like D sharp, 5th octave, A sharp, 4th octave. And then you've got an instrument and a command. I think the command is, again, that's things like how long the sustain is, or if there's reverb. Again, as far as I know, someone literally went through here and put all these notes in, and different instruments, and some of them have commands, or there's like a command. Something's changing in between the notes there, I think is what's going on. But these phrases, you make these different phrases. As you can see, there's phrase 8, phrase 7, and then I think the chain, yeah, so the chain is what phrases are going to play. And each phrase has, as you saw, so many notes. And then the song is, these are all the chains. And so again, it's like a normal, like any other tracker, or at least most I've seen, it plays from the top down, not like from the left to the right, like a timeline or something might. And then here's your pulse unit, channel 1, 2, your wave and your noise channel. So you'll see as I play this, for example, you can see what it's playing. And go down a little further into the song. And now you can see you've got all 4 channels of the sound chip playing something. So you can see what that looks like. Now this is again just on a stock Game Boy. We're hearing that through the speaker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this song. I'm going to plug this into my stereo, and we're going to hear it through like some speakers. And again, what you're hearing is coming out of this stock Game Boy, and this tracker program is just playing the audio chip, and it's just playing notes and stuff that the Game Boy audio chip was meant to play. It's similar to how a game would play its music. So it's basically you can make video game music on a Game Boy, or in my case, I can listen to music someone else has made.